guys, Chase with iDub Hockey here with Michael Soul, Head of Product Development for Sherwood Hockey, hanging out in sunny Santa Barbara, checking out your two families of sticks. We got our Rekker as well as the BPM. Now, before we start talking about specs, how would you describe the flex profile and style of play for each family?
So the Rekker line is really a low kick point stick, it's got rounded shaft corners, someone who really likes to get off a quick release, those quick snapshots, so a stick that's really easy to load and get the puck off quickly. Whereas BPM, it features a mid kick point, a more traditional shaft geometry that's a little more square, and someone who really likes to load up the stick, get the maximum power they can on each shot.
So the Rekker is for that player that doesn't load up the stick too much, really looking to get that puck off as quick as possible. BPM is for those heavy power shooters looking for maximum shot power,
That's
right?
It, yeah.
So let's talk about your new EK365. She looks pretty. I love the new paint job on it. But more importantly, we see some great upgrades as far as performance goes as well. Let's start with the new taper. What are we going to find there?
So with the EK365, we have the introduction of our dropkick taper. So what we've done is we've essentially lowered the taper of the stick. So it's going to get much more aggressive towards the bottom portion of the stick. So it's really going to enhance that low kick point to get that puck off quicker than its previous EK60.
Okay, so if you've been that EK60 user, getting into 365, expect a quicker shot release.
Yeah, from the first shot you get on the ice, you'll notice a difference of how that recoil effect is really enhanced.
Awesome. And then what about the 18K carbon fiber? It looks like a new addition that we did previously just see in the blade on the BPM. What's going on there?
So we have an 18K weave throughout the stick on both the shaft and the blade. But what's also different with the Rekker EK365 is how we've introduced that 18K on 3 internal layers of the stick. So the 18K weave, it's lighter, it's a very high performing material, but it's also very durable. So that's how we can get a stick that's so lightweight by introducing it on some of those internal layers. So it's going to be really lightweight, but also hold up to the durability requirements that the player's needing.
And it sounds like graphene just kind of piggybacks on that, just adding even more durability. Where is that mainly located and how does graphene work? Because we find it over here too, right?
Exactly. So on the BPM 150 stick, as well as the EK60 before that, we had the introduction of the graphene infused technology. So that's really in the lower portion of the stick where you're going to get the most slashes, the hacks when you're playing. So we've been able to make that portion more durable with the introduction of graphene so that you can have a stick that's really lightweight, but that's going to hold up to what you need.
For sure. Now hopping into the BPM 150, like you said, a little more traditional for maybe that traditional style shooter and the person wanting traditional shaft dimensions. It looks like we find a 12K carbon fiber. What's going to go on there, and then what do we find for the blade core as well?
So the blade core between the two sticks is very similar. It uses that 18K weave and the same type of foam with our VRF2 blade. With the BPM 150, it's really all about weight distribution. So how do we enhance the balance point to have a natural puck feel when you're stick handling, and that's really an effortless motion. So we've moved the balance point up the stick, and what that does is it relieves some of the weight on the bottom portion. So when you're holding it in its natural style of play, it's going to actually feel lighter than it actually is. So more about that swing speed, getting that maximum velocity, that's what you're going to find in the BPM 150.
And then as far as weight distribution goes, you guys talked a lot about swing weight. Can you maybe touch on that and how it applies to the BPM?
So the BPM line, like we said before, it's the higher balance point on the stick. So what that does really is that swing speed when you're driving through the motion of the shot, the less weight in the bottom is going to allow you to accelerate quicker into the shot. Then when you're actually hitting the ice, making that contact, the higher balance point and more weight in the top of the stick is allowing you to drive through the puck harder and get that shot off even with more velocity.
And so that high balance point really does a lot for the BPM. And how much does this one weigh?
So this stick weighs 425 grams.
And so it feels like a lightweight stick, especially with that high balance point, but then you pick up this Rekker and it's something else. What's the weight on this and how does it compare to the rest of the market?
So the Rekker EK365 is 380 grams. So it's the only stick right now under the 400 gram threshold. So it's really the lightest stick out there and by quite a wide margin.
For sure. And then what I like about, well, at least what you guys have been 365 is really beefing up the durability in terms of, those couple extra layers of 18K as well as that graphene, because sometimes those really lightweight sticks feel a little brittle, and it's good to see that you guys address that as well.
Exactly. So that's the case here is we wanted to ensure that we had a top performing product, but that was going to be really durable at the same time.
For sure. Well, Michael, thanks for flying out to California and visiting with us.
Thanks for having me, Chase.
Absolutely. And you guys at home that want to check out more of these Sherwood sticks, make sure you go to icewarehouse.com.